Welcome to the Lindsay and Tony podcast, where we talk about spirituality, business, and life experiences.
In this podcast, we're bringing our private conversations to you.
We believe that it's through discussion, action, and reflection that true change occurs.
Hi everybody, welcome to episode 137, Top Insights from Launching Our First Airbnb. In this episode, we're going to give you all the top positive things that we learned and how we approached our first Airbnb and what you can do to actually make yours a success starting out. And we're also going to tell you different things that happen that we're not so happy to share with you. You know, the negative side of things, the problems that we ran across, and all of those different types of things that often come up when you're starting a new business venture. We hope everybody enjoys the show.
Ooh, before you listen, I want to let you know I am offering a live business course. This has never happened before. We have all of my students that are in Unlock Your Psychic Medium online business. Anyone that's joined there or continues to join, you can show up live with us February 22nd to March 22nd on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us by going to lindsaymarino.com and click on the course button, and you'll see Unlock Your Psychic Medium online business. I'm so excited about this. We have over 80 psychic mediums and healers already in the course. The other thing that I'm opening up again is Mediumship Mastery Circle. It's a membership specifically for mediums, and I only open the door a few times each year. So go to lindsaymarino.com and you can find more info about that too. We hope you enjoyed the show. Hi guys, welcome back. We're so excited that you're here. Today's episode is all about the top insights of launching our first Airbnb, and we have a lot of insights that came from that, right?
So obviously our hometown is Tampa Bay, but we did buy an Airbnb and we're excited to share our top insights with you on actually what happened with us as we were doing that.
But it wasn't in Tampa. So our first one is in Missouri, but I'm sure we'll have some Tampa stuff coming at some point.
Actually, the place we're in right now will eventually either be an Airbnb or long-term rental. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah. So we had so many different things that came up for us. You think that you're going to do it one way, and then little things get tweaked along the way, right? When it comes to Airbnb?
Exactly. You have this idea of how things are going to go, how much money you're going to spend, how much work you're going to do, and then you realize it's like 10 times more.
Yeah, and we only had 1 month. We had to get back to Tampa. Was it 1 month and 5 days, or I forget the exact timing?
Right, so we closed on our place in St. Louis on December 29th, and we had to be back in Tampa by February 7th. Because of the Super Bowl. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were going to be in the Super Bowl. But Lindsay also had an in-person reading on Monday, February 8th. So we had to be back by then. So it was our goal to get everything finished, and it was maybe a little over a month, maybe 5 weeks or so.
Mm-hmm. So it was one of those things where from the moment that we closed, Tony was ripping carpets out of the house. The moment that we left, we were still doing things as we're walking out of the house. So I think it's important to note that if you are someone that's thinking of starting an Airbnb, make sure you double your time or maybe even triple the amount of time that you think it's going to take.
And money.
Yes, and money. So money, time, energy. I think the big thing that we've been talking about this whole time when we got back to Tampa, we were driving back and we're like, how the heck do we get that done? And it really truly was our passion. And we should probably back up a little bit and talk about why we even started this Airbnb.
Exactly, because this is a top insight for you. And if you're like us, you have different places that you go to every single year. It could be a Florida trip that you take with your family vacation, or it could be like us to where we live in Tampa. But we go to St. Louis and we spend 2 to 3 months there every single year, and we do the same thing in Boston. So what we thought, this was probably like 10 years ago, we started to formulate this idea that, hey, eventually, instead of renting hotels and renting Airbnbs when we go back to St. Louis and Boston, we're going to actually become it.
And I think 10 years ago, I don't know if Airbnb existed then. It could have, though. It could have. But we knew that we were going to rent, we were going to have real estate.
Well, either way, we knew we were going to buy the place. That's
Exactly.
what it was, right?
That's what it was. And Tony and I, before we even met each other, we both had the plan that we were going to own real estate. So it's been in both of our families where people have owned real estate at some point.
It has. So we both had that belief and that energy and that passion for real estate and understanding a long term how it could create wealth over time. And so it was like an easy decision for us. It's not like I forced her to do it or she forced me. We were mutual. And I think that's big too. If you are a couple, it's really huge to have these conversations. We had so many conversations. I remember when I was teaching
week.
every single week, every day. But I remember specifically when I was teaching in the schools, every weekend I would look forward to the weekends because we would dream build. And we could talk about how we're going to travel, around the world and have this lifestyle and have a rental place here and have a house here. And it was all this dream building that helped us have this clarity. It's not like it just happened in one day.
Right. And it's funny because one of my best friends from home, she's like, so are you still going to get your Massachusetts place? Are you still going to do the Missouri place? And I'm like, yep, we're still going to do it. Now, the interesting thing is the way that this lined up this year, we were trying to figure out the order. Okay, what is the next move? And we always think, how will we do this next? What will be the next location? And we've been looking online I think for me, I have fun going online and just looking at like Zillow and Redfin and all the real estate sites. So probably for about a year or two, I've been looking just for fun in all different places. Boston, St. Louis, Tampa. And finally, we already had passed this specific place in St. Louis. Each time we went to go visit Tony's family, we would pass this place in the neighborhood. And they're brownstone buildings, so they're all brick. And the moment we saw it, I'm like, that reminds me of Boston. I feel like that is such a good investment property. And that's actually where we ended up.
Exactly. And it's interesting because my brother had bought a place in that neighborhood first, and which Lindsay was talking about is we'd drive around on his golf cart, because this is a golf cart community too. And every time we'd pass the brownstones or even just the neighborhood, Lindsay kept reaffirming, this is a great investment. We need a place here. And it's a neighborhood you'll fall in love with. There's lakes.
Oh, yeah.
All of these different things, restaurants. And I mean, it's not like it was just us who loved this place. I think everybody that knows about it or that goes to it, they're like, oh my gosh, this place is amazing. It looks like a scene out of a movie.
It was encouraged from a scene out of a movie too. And that's one of the things that you had written down here about the location. When you're choosing a location, it's so important. And you know more of the story behind how Newtown was created.
Right, so if you saw the movie The Truman Show with Jim Carrey, the designer of that neighborhood is the same designer of the neighborhood that we live in now in St. Louis, or that we have a place in now in St. Louis called Newtown, St. Charles. And if you ever are in the Destin area, go to Rosemary Beach and you will see the amazing, it's called Seaside too. So Seaside and Rosemary Beach were both designed by this person, and it is unbelievable architecture. The place in Rosemary Beach, it looks like California, Florida, and
Greece,
in Europe.
Yeah,
right?
someplace in
Europe.
All
mixed in one. It's amazing.
Well, and I think it's weird too because there's no coincidences, and we believe in frequencies, but it's interesting because my heart guided me to this space for a retreat years ago. And it started where we started doing retreats in that area. And now all of a sudden we find out that it's connected to Newtown.
Right,
somehow, because it's the same designer, like in that area. So I think that's interesting.
So this could be another insight for you to where go back into your past, think about that city that you go to a lot. If you're going to do it that way, you of course you could do it another way too, where you just want to be this Airbnb person that has 50 of them. I'm not sure if we're really going that direction. We'll at least have 5, 10. We have different locations. So you don't necessarily have to do it in the location you and your family visit every single year, but I think it's a great idea. So where was I going with that?
Yeah, well, it's an insight to think about where you want to go with this, if this is something that you're interested in.
Exactly, and thinking back in, the breadcrumbs, like Lindsay always says, the breadcrumbs in your past. where are places that you're going often? Where are the places that you are naturally pulled to take a vacation? And just think about all those different ideas. The places that when you go to these places, you just light up. Your energy transforms. Like another place for Lindsay and I is we want to have a cabin in the mountains because that's what it does for us.
It's so peaceful.
So another thing, another top insight that we had was we believe in self-education. Self-education is the new norm, and I stole that from Dean Graziosi. We took his course, and Tony Robbins, the Knowledge Business Blueprint, and it is so true. We live in the information age. Anything that you want to learn, you literally can learn for free on YouTube or Google. There's an expert out there if you know how to sense and use your instincts and understand when someone knows what they're talking about and you listen to them, you can make transformational shifts in whatever area you want. So that's what we did. Instead of just going in this blindly and thinking that we know everything and that we're just going to do it the way that we believe that we should do it, we start to study the education of what makes a great Airbnb. And we started to take notes. I have this notebook right here full of notes, another notebook full of notes of Airbnbs and what to do to actually make them successful. So before we even bought the house, we were so clear on exactly what we wanted to do. So then when we bought the house, it was like Lindsay was saying earlier, we looked back after we got back to Tampa and we were like, how in the heck did all that just happen? And I will say it didn't just happen. We prepared, and we were very passionate and had a lot of energy for what we were doing. And I believe that's why it happened how it happened.
And also, we were experiencing it firsthand by buying Airbnbs for how many years? We were literally experiencing it and sleeping in Airbnbs and noticing every detail. Like, oh, I love this extra touch, or oh, I would have done this differently. So I think actually experiencing something before you do anything in your life is a huge thing. So being in that energy of the experience, whether it's an Airbnb or it's attending a class that, you know, you're deepening something with mediumship, you're attending it and like really living it and doing it, it makes you more apt to go out and do the readings. Just like with the Airbnb, we've been in it, so we know, okay, these are key pieces that we can put in our own Airbnb.
Exactly, that's a great point because we have bought in Airbnbs in Italy, in the mountains, in St. Louis, and there's some other places all around, and we noticed, and we had these conversations too. I remember just talking as we're in each Airbnb, like, oh my God, I love this about this place. I don't like that they don't, like, for example, I hate when I go to an Airbnb or hotel and the iron is, an irony board sucks. Like, I'm trying to iron my clothes because we have an event or we're going out to eat or something.
No, one time we had no iron there.
Or there's no iron at all. So, like, all these little things, it goes back to the marketing experts, what they teach you. Get inside of your ideal client's mind. I think that's the best way that you can, is by being your ideal client first.
Exactly. And you want people around you to be loving and supportive. Like having the right team of people that you're working with that you can trust and you feel like has good energy towards the business is so important. And we made a couple mistakes trying to jam people in. Like we had an amazing family cleaner. She was going to clean, but she had surgery, so she has to heal up before she cleans. And the big thing was we were trying to rush to find a cleaner because one person said they were going to do it, and then in the end they couldn't do weekends, so we had to tweak the situation and put someone else in. And what we recognized was if you're trying to rush things and you're kind of going against your intuition, we were like, this isn't a good fit, but I need someone in place. Don't do that. Definitely don't do that. It's more stress. But luckily, thank God, we have someone in place that's amazing and has positive energy. And I think that's really important. You want people that have those positive vibes. You do not want anyone in there working for your company, no matter what it is, that has anything that's not support, you know, and that's important.
It's very important. So in other words, trust your instincts. When we first hired the company that Lindsay's talking about, and of course we're not going to say their name, right away, within I think the first day or two, there was red flags. Like you're all in past shoot. That's why you listen to this episode. So you feel what we're talking about. We just felt it. We knew it was a red flag, but like Lindsay said, we only had like 5 weeks, so we were trying to like put these things in place because we were so excited. Here's the thing, just slow it down, because once you jam something in, then it creates more problems than it actually solves, and that's what happened with us. So then we had to fire those people, and like Lindsay said, we have this amazing cleaner now that brings great energy.
Yeah.
We feel it's a difference. I feel great when she's in our place, to where the last people, I felt like an uneasiness. I felt like a lot of just toxic energy from them.
Yeah. So you need someone in place that you feel like can do the job without any kind of excuses on not getting it done, and make sure they show up on time, because it wasn't happening. But it's learning, and it's not always easy, but anything that you do, it is a learning process. And I think the big thing that we've spoke about is you're always going to have people's opinions of how you should do something, how you should buy certain things. Oh, we were told to go to the dollar store to buy dishes. I'm like, nope, we're not going to the dollar store. That's not our clientele. And we had a certain vision on what we wanted. And I think that's what made it so much easier, because I already went on Pinterest, and I was the one that was kind of designing the visual type things. And then Tony was helping me, and we were going into different places, and he was setting things up and painting and getting everything prepared in the house, and I was trying to run around and get stuff at the stores too. So we worked together, and we had our own little jobs that we were doing. And I almost feel like, even though we were working really hard at different points, I'm like, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. We were just we were on a wave.
Yeah, we were. I don't know, unlimited energy, until there was a certain point where, like, I'm so sick of the stores, and I like shopping, and there's moments like that.
So that's the thing. So we talk about self-education and getting the knowledge. Well, if you don't do that, like Lindsay's saying, and you don't have your vision, you're going to have all these people pulling at you,
Right.
telling you, oh, you should do it that color, or this, or you should buy this, or you should do it that way, or you should charge this price, or you should charge that price, or you should do this. And it's so easy, because these people are very convincing when they're saying it. It sounds very convincing because they believe it, right? That's what they're telling it. And it's not like the people around you are trying to hurt you. They're trying to really help you. But we're here to tell you, like, get that information from experts that are actually doing it, and they have the insights that'll help you have clarity. And then once you do that, you're less likely to be pulled in 400 different directions.
Yes, and like anything that you do, like if you're an entrepreneur, most likely you're an entrepreneur watching this, and if not, that's totally fine too. Go to the people that have done it before. Don't just listen to anyone that hasn't done it, because I lived in that Airbnb group. Same with Tony. Mm-hmm. There's an Airbnb group for, I think there's like over 30,000 people in there, and you can see people asking questions, sharing experiences, sharing the things that they went through, instead of going through the hard way of hitting things that like didn't make sense for them to do. Like, for example, it sounds crazy, but towels. That's a big topic in the Airbnb group. What kind of towels are you going to get? What color are the towels going to be? Save yourself the time and energy from getting these types of towels and get this type of towel.
Right. And if you're like me and you're not a laundry expert, you would think, wait, they're telling you to get white towels? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
But it does, right? Why does it make sense? Just give them a little insight.
Well, you know, some people say white towels because first you can bleach it and get any kind of makeup stains out or anything like that. And then other people, they would go back and forth and say, well, try bright color towels. But I noticed that a lot of people steered away from that because they couldn't clean them like they wanted to, and they had to get rid of them. They ended up being rags. So, and you think about it, think about the hotel industry. Most of them have white towels too. There's a reason for it. So they've tried it too. But it really is there are these little details. And the most important thing is sometimes you don't want to put out upfront money. It could be in this Airbnb business. It could be in your mediumship business where you're like, oh, I'll just do it myself. I'll do it myself. It might take a while, but I'll save some money. Well, what I realized over time, and we've realized, is sometimes it's better to hire the experts to come in and do it.
Exactly. And just to piggyback off what Lindsay's saying, be willing to put a huge chunk of money into it without feeling bad. And the way you do this is you have a long-term vision. You have 5, 10, 20-year vision. Because if you just have a month vision, you're going to be like, what in the hell? Like, for the most part, we kept paying people. We had to get a handyman in there. And then our dishwasher, all of a sudden, we're almost finished with the house. I turn the dishwasher on, and there's water on the floor. I'm like, what in the hell? Now we got to get in the dishwasher and then the hot water heater, and we're paying all this money out. But the thing that kept us going was this long-term vision.
And during that whole time, there were all blessings in those moments that came up because we were there when it happened, and the homeowners that sold us the house had a warranty for 12 months. So we're like, this is a blessing. This is abundance coming to us, and we're so grateful this happened when we were here. So, and if we didn't have the vision, we could have stopped even before we got the house. And I don't know if you guys remember, but in one of our podcasts, we talked about a situation that came up where we put an offer on a place, and we didn't go into detail there. We put an offer on a place at the beginning, and we were excited about it, but physically, my whole body, I couldn't handle it. I was like, we can't do this. It looks beautiful on paper. Everything's perfect about it. It was not far from the other location. And I told Tony, I'm like, I know you're going to be upset about this because we already decided. We already decided this. I'm like, I can't change what my body's doing. There is a reason. I'm telling you, Tony. And normally I'd be like, okay, you go with it. Like, if you think so, let's do it. I'm along with you. And he'll do the same for me. But I said, I can't budge on this. Like, there's no way. Like, physically, I can't do it. I feel sick.
So that was a top insight for me. If your wife's a psychic medium and she's saying, hey, my instinct's telling me this, don't be an idiot. Just listen to it the first time.
Or if you're any human and your radars, if you're not emotionally...
We all have radars. We all have instincts.
And
right?
You were emotionally attached to getting a place at that moment. So, and for me, I was like, this is not emotional. This is physically, I can't deny what's happening. We are so grateful that house, that we backed out of that and we didn't do that. Because now we have the perfect place, even better location.
We couldn't have handpicked a better place. And it was all from that trusting.
It was the trusting. And all of this paid off. Within less than 2 weeks, we've already got 4 bookings. And we're sharing this with you because we want you to know, whether it's Airbnb or another business, these insights could actually help propel you forward to that next level when you really start thinking about everything that's around you. You do your research, you have your experiences, you trust the process, you invest money and think of a long-term outlook instead of just that temporary, oh my gosh, I'm putting this money out. And trust it, trust the process.
Exactly, and then you drop your mic, bam.
Tony.
Hey, look, after you put in all the hard work and sweat,
oh my God.
They always say blood, sweat, and tears. Literally, blood, sweat. I still have a black toe. I was putting in the putting green in the backyard.
We have to share
and I have this tamper, and a tamper is this tool, and it's like a flat metal thing to flatten out the rocks after you lay them down. It's heavy and it's metal, and I'm like, bam! It's like 8 degrees outside, maybe 18 degrees outside.
Yeah, it was cold.
Bam, bam, and all of a sudden I hit my toe. My toe's still black, and that was like a month ago.
Yeah, and I think we should name, I know the video is probably going to turn off, but that's okay, but we really should name a few of the horrible things that took place so that we can share that.
Well, let me just go on that. I was cussing out the mud in my backyard.
It was pouring down rain.
I was sinking in mud, and my feet was sinking in mud because the land that it's built on, where this neighborhood is, it used to be cornfields, so it's like very good soil that you could make cups out of. And I was sitting there sinking in the mud, trying to put this plastic border. It's like a border that goes around in landscaping, and it's twirled around, so it's made for when it's hot outside, so you could unwind it and it could bend. This stuff was not bending while I was sinking. It was flicking mud all over my face. Lindsay's up at the top floor looking down on me like, this crazy dude, what's he doing?
And this was in freezing cold weather.
Freezing cold weather. I know you asked, you're thinking, why are you trying to do landscaping in the winter? Look, I really wanted a putting green, and I had a couple of days span to where it wasn't going to snow and everything. And long story short, I ended up getting it done, and I'm grateful that I did it.
Well, and also, he was very stubborn about asking for help. And I called his mom and talked to his mom on the phone, and she's like, I'm coming down there, and I'm bringing his brother. So his brother Nick came, and he, at certain points, when he wasn't doing most of the work he was doing by himself, he allowed his brother to help dig the dirt up. Remember, and put it in bags.
Exactly. And I will say, that's another insight. On that project in the backyard, for some reason, I was just like, I'm just getting it done. I don't feel like, because at that point, we already had been there for 4 weeks. And I was open to a lot of help during those 4 weeks. You saw
right?
It, right?
You were.
And it made it so much easier. Open your heart to help. Of course, paying people too. But open your heart to help, because once you do that, all these people start to come from different directions.
It was amazing how many
it was
people
amazing.
helped.
We're so blessed and lucky to have the friends and family we do. And that's all I have to say about that one.
Yes. So that was one situation. And the blessing in that was there were bags of dirt, over 30-something bags of dirt.
30 heavy.
They were
like
200 pounds
each.
Tony and his brother
wet mud.
put it in the garage, and we had to figure out how to let it get out of the garage. And I'm like, well, I'll just put it on Facebook Marketplace for free and see what happens. It was like gold. People were coming in within less than 24 hours, right?
They're like, wait, that's that Newtown dirt that used to be cornfields. It's like it could grow anything. Okay, I'll be there.
And it was gone. So that was something beautiful that happened. So everything that was like a struggle or difficult, there was a blessing in it.
Right.
So I don't even know what else that I could think of, but there were just different moments where like, oh my gosh, this feels never ending. But then other moments, it's like we were so excited to have the finished product. So I think that's important.
And it was never ending. So on February 6th, the day we left, we were planning on leaving at like 4 a.m. That's what I love doing. 3, 4 a.m. She doesn't like it. I love it. Beat traffic. We didn't end up leaving until 5 p.m. that day. We literally used every second of every day that we were there to get things done.
Yes. That's a lesson. That's a lesson. Sometimes you do have to stay a little bit longer in whatever you're doing to get it done and complete it before moving on to that next project.
Exactly.
So we hope that this gave you some sort of insight, whether it's in an Airbnb or something else that you're interested in doing, and kind of giving you that hope that it's possible and it's doable. So let us know in the comments what you took from this episode. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you liked it, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel too.
If you can think of anyone else that would love this episode, share it with them right now on social media or email. And remember, getting results is a process of learning, applying, and reflecting. Stay consistent and continue to grow every day.